One of my favourite tropes in fiction is the character who's just in it for the love of the game. We, as an audience, are usually attracted to complex and in-depth characters whose motivations are varied and relatable. And that's all well and good. We empathise with Walter White, not because he's a good person, but because his motivation and flaws make sense. Despite knowing he shouldn't and we shouldn't, we want him to win. But then you get some characters who quite simply just love this shit. And it doesn't matter what this shit refers to, whether it be evil, fighting, sport, food, money, whatever the game means to them, they're just in it for the love. It's that simple. And I've always been jealous of that passion. So today I'm going to rank some depictions of characters who fit this trope. While everybody on this list is absolutely in it for the love of the game, some are a lot more dedicated. Let me lay out the criteria. The characters who top this list are going to be ones who have no other attachments, or at the very least, they're willing to sacrifice all other attachments for the sake of the game. Kids, wife, friends, glory, victory, it's all secondary to the game. For what is love if not sacrifice? Let's start with somebody you'd assume to be the top of the list, the Hulk. We all know who the Hulk is and why he's a contender. Hulk loves to smash, and he's good at it too. He is the embodiment of rage, the strongest there is, the world breaker. But does he love it? It really depends. The issue with comics is there's always so many versions and so many writers and so many canons, but the majority of versions don't actually seem to enjoy it. He's capable of guilt, empathy, concern, and sadness. Sometimes he'll even put these emotions before the game. For example, sometimes he cares about Bruce Banner, and it seems like they both always care about Betty Ross. It's a recurring theme that Hulk will calm the fuck down if the Huz is watching. He also doesn't just kill or destroy for the sake of it. There's usually something which has to actively make him angry, since he's tied to Banner's emotions. If innocents are nearby though, he can and will put a cap on it, even if they're trying to hurt him. There's a reason he's a hero rather than a villain. For this reason, I'd say he's actually mid to low tier, and trust me, when you see who else we have on the list, you'll understand why. Next up, we'll go with a heavy hitter. Somebody who I think everyone can agree is high tier. Son Goku. Goku is famously in love with the game. He even birthed the "I hear you're pretty strong" meme, and it's no wonder why. This man is single-mindedly about that life. Win or lose, doesn't matter, he just loves a scrap. And unlike the Hulk, he will sometimes even jeopardize his own family and the entire planet just for the potential of another fight in the future, or even to make sure the enemy has a fair chance. The man is insane, clinically insane. Being dropped on your head as a child will probably do that to you, but the point still stands. He will die for the game happily, any day of the week. And his love of the game is so infectious, it will normally win over other characters and enhance their love of the game like a team buff. So Goku is definitely high tier, but I don't think he's top tier, because I said he will sometimes sacrifice his other attachments for the love of the game. However, it's kind of inconsistent. When Goku first fought Vegeta, he actually asked him to leave first, prioritizing his friend's safety rather than the smoke. Plus, there have been times he's halted a fight so that it can take place in a deserted area, prioritizing innocent lives. He also put his showdown with Marge and Vegeta on hold so they could go and fight Buu instead, whereas I'm convinced if Goku was just in the mood, he would have just tried to fight them both at the same time. And probably the most famous instance, he stopped mid-fight with Cell so he can hit the alley-oop with Gohan, prioritizing his growth over Goku's love of combat. So Goku's high tier for sure. He eats, lives, breathes, and sleeps combat. It's in his DNA and in his upbringing. But it's not his absolute number one priority. There are things he will sacrifice a good fight for, although sometimes regretfully. For that, he's going A tier. Next up though, we have someone who has no such issue. Doomslayer.
In the first age, in the first battle, when the shadows first lengthened, one stood. He chose the path of perpetual torment. In his ravenous hatred, he found no peace, and with boiling blood, he scoured the umbral plains, seeking vengeance against the Dark Lords who had wronged him. And those that tasted the bite of his sword named him the Doomslayer.
Doomslayer, or Doomguy, is an entity, not even a man anymore, capable of nothing but ripping and tearing until it is done. Pure unstoppable testosterone. It's canon that the reason he uses guns is because if he used his bare hands, everything would die too fast and none of the demons would suffer. But I don't think he's capable of love. Not since his pet bunny died. It's like saying that rain loves to fall. It's just what it does, there's no love about it. The Doomslayer's function is to slay. The intro said it best, he found no peace. He does this out of hatred and because he doesn't know how to do anything else. So I don't think I can say he loves the game. He's 100% dedicated to it and he'll forever be known as the greatest to ever do it. But for that reason, I'm gonna go B tier. Next up, we have everybody's favorite fry cook, SpongeBob SquarePants. I looked at an IMDb poll recently which hailed Squidward as the fan favorite character, which surprised me, but I guess we're all just professional haters because SpongeBob loves his job. I mean, if we loved our work even half as much as this guy, you wouldn't be watching a video about fictional characters who love the game in the bathroom right now. Just look how hyped he was when he thought he got that promotion. But under that giggly and positive exterior is a cold-hearted professional. Robert can flip a fucking burger. Originally, I was going to put him mid to low tier because of how many other things he's got going on. He obviously has his friends, Gary, karate, jellyfishing, so he's not 100% dedicated to the game. But then I started to see just how many feats he's got in the kitchen. In the episode Fear of a Krabby Patty, Plankton opens the chum bucket for 23 hours a day, prompting Mr. Krabs to open for 24 hours. This was part of Plankton's plan to make SpongeBob tire out so he could get the Krabby Patty formula in SpongeBob's state of exhaustion. After 10 days of 24-hour straight shifts, SpongeBob hasn't even broken a sweat, my boy. Plankton ups the ante by ordering 10,000 Krabby Patties. After 43 straight days of nothing but cooking burgers, SpongeBob starts to crack. But that's still a 54-day shift, my guy. I know soldiers who have had deployments shorter than that. Let's not skip over the fact that sometimes he gets paid 10 cents a year, sometimes he doesn't get paid, and sometimes he pays Mr. Krabs just to work there. Let me say that again. SpongeBob pays Mr. Krabs so that he can come to work. I don't give a fuck what he does in his free time. SpongeBob's the GOAT. Easy S tier, no doubt in my mind. And while we're on the subject, Eugene Harold Krabs is about that bag. He once tried to straight murk Squidward just so that he could increase the value of his paintings so he could sell them for more. So he'll murder for money, no hesitation, even someone who's worked for him for years. Then there's the Jam Factory episode, where he enslaves a bunch of innocent creatures and harvests their organs as a sandwich spread. Oh, don't forget selling SpongeBob's soul for 62 cents. After he tried to save Mr. Krabs' life. Patrick's not safe either. Mr. Krabs exploited his retarded ass by making people pay to watch him hurt himself. So we've established Mr. Krabs will sell out anybody in town save Mrs. Puff and his daughter Pearl for literally any amount of money. But he'll get his hands dirty too, fighting off an entire army of undead skeletons just for a hat that he thinks is valuable. This fight also goes on all night. In my opinion, nobody is about the green more than Mr. Krabs. The only limit to his greed is Pearl, who he will spend money for even if it's through gritted teeth. Because of that, he's in A tier, just below Goku. You know, looking back, I never realized just how fucking evil Mr. Krabs is. He might even be worse than our next pick, the Joker, Clown Prince of Crime. No doubt he loves the game more than anybody in Gotham, for sure, and that game is chaos, proving a point that everybody's just a really bad day away from him. He's the poster boy of insanity with one of the hardest fits ever put to panel. Doesn't matter what it takes or how he gets it to, as long as he's causing some kind of mayhem. But here's the tricky part with the Joker. You'd expect him to have no rules, but even he won't fuck with Nazis or the IRS, which somehow makes him even more chaotic because why the fuck is he a patriot? Anyway, he's also not that fussed about winning or losing. He seems just as glad to be foiled as when his plans go right. He truly is just in it for the game. Even Harley, the baddest in Gotham, is just another plaything to manipulate and break. But there is one thing that Joker loves even more than chaos. Lol punny, I mean Batman. Usually, his two loves intertwine, because there's nothing Joker loves more than ruining Batman's life, and specifically spiting him. But the Joker himself has said that if Batman wasn't around, he'd get bored. Everybody else is breakable, they just kill the Joker given the chance. But Batman will let him get away with it no matter how evil it is. And the Joker's real victory would be in corrupting Batman. And while this does make him a better and more in-depth character, it does mean he loves Batman and being his rival more than he loves the game. Otherwise he would find joy in the mayhem, Batman or no Batman. So, for that reason, Joker is going B tier. However, somebody who is truly dedicated to nothing but causing suffering, regardless of who, is Bullseye. Bullseye is, in my opinion, the most dedicated comic book character to their craft I've ever seen. To the point where, even if he's mid-fight, if he sees an innocent running away from the scene, all it takes is for the intrusive thought to enter his mind, bro. I wonder if I can full send this fucking 8-ball into the back of this woman's head while running the hands. He won't even slow down, it's just too much fun for him. And he'll savor it too. One time, he wanted to kill the Punisher, so he kidnapped a family, murdered the husband, took his place, pretending to be the father of said family. He took them on little play dates, held them hostage, trying to get into the mindset of having a family that he cares about. Then he murdered them to try and see if he could empathize with Frank by recreating his backstory and making him rewatch it. And the worst part is, he tried this with 4 fucking families because he didn't think it worked the first few times. Don't get me wrong, similar to the Joker, he's got his fixation on his rival, but he's never had a problem with killing Matt. He just wanted to make it last and get his lick back after being humiliated. It wasn't anything to do with philosophy. He said it himself to Norman Osborn, he does this because it's fun. He's in it for the love of the game. Bullseye is going A tier, and the only reason why is because he killed himself after managing to take out Daredevil. If he had kept on going after that, easy S tier. Now let's lighten the mood slightly with a quick question. Would you do it for a Scooby snack? I was deliberating between Shaggy or Scooby here, as their love of the game is almost equal, but I think Shaggy takes the cake because these are fucking dog biscuits, bro. No wonder Scooby loves them, but Shaggy's got no excuse. I'll be honest with you, Shaggy's gonna be low tier. There are a lot of things he values, mostly the mystery gang, and sure they act scared and reluctant, but I think if Scooby and Shaggy had the option of staying home with the crew and just munching all day, I still think they'd choose to go out and solve mysteries instead. Shaggy loves his friends, loves all kinds of foods, loves solving mysteries, loves the danger, and I don't think he'd sacrifice any of those for Scooby snacks. That being said, he's a fucking dog for these things. Hands and knees, sniffing the dirt, facing ghouls, zombies, mummies, vampires, whatever you want. All for dog treats. There's also plenty of fan theories suggesting that Shaggy was in the military and has PTSD. I'm not 100% sure, but I think in some versions that is actually canon. So if that's true, it moves him at least half a tier up. But as it stands, compared to the others we've had so far, Shaggy is going top of D tier. He's just got too many other motivations interfering with the Scooby Snack game. Speaking of animated entries, next up is Remy the Rat. This man is a fiend for the grind. He belongs in front of a stove. He was ready to give up his family, his home, his safety, so that he could go and face racial injustice, genocide, betrayal, all because he just really wanted to cook. Love of the game. He's so in love with the game that even when he knew he could never work as a chef, he was happy enough to give somebody else the experience of cooking just for the satisfaction of knowing he's the one who made the meal. He couldn't even cook it himself, and he would still prefer that over not cooking at all. What a fucking madman. Imagine if Goku became paralyzed from the neck down and he couldn't fight anymore, so instead he learned a mind control technique and fought through somebody else. That is what we're dealing with here. Not to mention, he's actually an incredible chef, even with next to no experience. He was fresh out of the gate being called the greatest chef in France. Oh, did I mention he's a fucking rat? And the person who called him that knew he was a rat. Remy's A tier, no question. The only reason he's not S is because there was a few times he doubted himself and almost gave up the game for the sake of his family and rat kind. Which is understandable, but don't forget, Spongebob paid Mr. Krabs to work for 54 days straight. SpongeBob's just different. SpongeBob's just different. But I think there's one more character. This video is so fucking stupid. But I think there's one more character worth mentioning who is up there with SpongeBob. Reverse Flash. And yes, his game is spiting Barry Allen. I mean, his name is Reverse Flash. He considers himself to be the anti-Barry Allen. He went back in time and vibrated an innocent kid out of existence just so Barry would grow up without any friends. I can't get through it, bro. He made Wally West witness his wife's miscarriage infinitely just to fuck with Barry and show his sidekick ain't shit. He tried to steal Barry Allen's girl, then murked her when she said no. In Blackest Night, when he comes back to life, the first thing he does is look for the smoke. And I mean the very first thing. Nothing to it, straight back to the game. Even when he had a chance at a normal life without the obsession of Barry, he killed his own parents, erased his own younger brother, and went back in time and traumatized his own love interest so that she'd be institutionalized and they'd never meet, just so he wouldn't be distracted from the game. Brother, are you fucking serious? I said at the beginning, what is love without sacrifice? And most of the entries on this list are lucky in that they don't have to choose between their love of the game and their love of anything else. For example, Bullseye never really had the opportunity to live a normal life. He's always going to be fucked up. But Thorn had options. A family, a job, a partner, a fresh start. But my man could just not stop himself. He had to get back on the court. Dunking on Barry was just too sweet. S tier. Above even SpongeBob. That's our list for now. I've got a ton of other characters who suit this trope. So if you want to see more, let me know. Out of the ones I have on the back burner, I still got Kenpachi, Akuma, Yujiro, Punisher, Battle Beast, Saitama, the Powerpuff Girls, Hank from Madness, Mordecai and Rigby, Sonic, and Sherlock Holmes. Thanks for joining me, and I hope these guys inspire you to be more dedicated to the game. I'll see you next time.